Good morning, everyone. Today we are going to start our new chapter, chapter number 3, Coordinate Geometry. This is a very important video for you. Concept video Coordinate Geometry. Please watch it fully.
All of us have seen what a number line is. It has a 0 in the center, positive values at equal intervals on the right, which go on forever, and negative values at equal intervals on the left. A number on the right of a number will always be greater, and that on the left will always be smaller. We can easily give any number on this line an identity. If the point lies here, we can say that it is 1 unit to the right of 0. This point, for example, is 2 units to the left of 0. But what if we have a point here? How do we give point A an identity? To give such points an identity, we draw another line perpendicular to this one. We have positive values above 0 and negative values under it, all at equal intervals. These two lines are called the axes. The horizontal line is called the x-axis and the vertical one is called the y-axis. Now, can we give this point an identity with the help of the axis? Of course we can. It is 2 units away from the y-axis and 3 units away from the x-axis. 2 units away from the y and 3 away from the x. Its identity would be 2, 3. In a fancy way, they are called the coordinates of point A. 2 is the x-coordinate, while 3 is the y-coordinate. Can we write the y-coordinate first and then the x? Nope, we cannot. The x-coordinate has to be written first. Why don't you try writing the coordinates of point B? It is 1 unit away from the y-axis and 3 units away from the x-axis. But wait, 3 units below the x-axis. So the coordinates will be 1, -3. So that's how we give points on the plane some identity. X-coordinate followed by the y-coordinate. These two axes divide the plane into 4 regions. This one, this one, this one, and this one. They are called quadrants. This region, where the x as well as the y values are positive, is called the first quadrant. The region to the left of it is called the second quadrant, y positive and x negative. This is the third and this is the fourth quadrant. It goes counterclockwise. 1, 2, 3 and 4. This plane that you see is called the coordinate plane. Let's look at the x and the y-axis. These axes are used to recognize a point on one plane. One single plane. This plane is called the Cartesian plane. As we can see, the Cartesian plane is divided into 4 parts or regions. This one, this one, this one, and this one. Each of them is called a quadrant. The quadrants are named in a particular order which we have to strictly follow. This region is the first quadrant. In the first quadrant, as we can see, the x as well as the y coordinates are positive. Moving in the anti-clockwise direction, we name this quadrant the second quadrant. In this quadrant, the x coordinates are negative while the y coordinates are positive. So remember, for the first 2 quadrants, the y coordinates are positive. Moving in the anti-clockwise direction, this is the third quadrant where the x as well as the y values are negative. This region is the fourth quadrant. The x coordinates are positive and the y coordinates are negative. Does that mean that every point on the plane will lie in any one of the quadrants? Let's mark a few points on the plane and see which quadrants they lie in. Let's assume I mark point A here. This point lies in the second quadrant. So we write A, 2 here, Point A lies in the second quadrant. Let's assume I mark point B here. This point is in the first quadrant. We write B first here. Point C is marked here as it lies in the third quadrant. We write C 3. And this is point D. It is in the fourth quadrant. Now let's look at something interesting. What about this point E? Which quadrant does it lie in? First quadrant or the second one? We say that point E lies on the y-axis. What about point F here? Yes, point F lies on the x-axis. What does this tell us? It means that each point on a plane lies either on one of the axes or in one of the quadrants.